Good evening. Back to Whiskey with Rich. Been a while. We're going to start off the show with John Dean. Welcome, John. I think we're going to try and get that video going again, see if we'll get any sound. Otherwise, we're going to wait a little bit for people to join in.
Yeah, we'll give them a few minutes to show up.
Now we got 1 here. Okay, hold on. We'll try that video one more time. Let me know if you can hear it. And Chrome tab, share. Can you hear it this time?
No.
No? All right, that didn't work. All right, I'll have to figure that one out before the next time. And all right. Oh, geez, 34. We got Jeff Scott, Frank Barone, Jay Brown, Clayton Burcham, Bill Weaver, Dwayne Gillis, Diego, Jose, Jeff, Antoine. Good evening, guys. Good seeing you. I got a quick jump here.
Yeah, we'll give them a few minutes to fill in there, Rich.
I don't know if that's 34 have joined us or 4.
Well, it's more than 4.
Oh, yeah. Chris, good evening. Michael Bloomhagen. Good evening. Jamie. Nate Conley. Oliver. Yeah, we got quite a bunch coming in. Great. Well, it's nice to be back. I've got a different, I've got a little better studio set up. Make things a little easier for me. We tried to play a video to hold the tide and we'll have more people chime in, but I got no sound on it. I'll have to figure that out before the next one. For those of you on already, I've got a couple shows lined up. Friday night, we'll be talking ice fishing with Ian Jones and also his guide service on Lake St. Clair, bass and musky fishing. Monday night, we will have Mike and Kyle from Michigan Kayak Trail and Topwater series. They will talk about what their season's coming up with. And let's see, how many more we got here? Oh, we're about 39. Wow, that's good turnout for a first night. Feel free to comment. We can see your comments. We're good with the agenda. We're going to talk about, start off the OKBT. At that time, we'll take a break for questions, and we'll try and go through what you have up on your comments. And after that, we'll go on to the next category. 46 people, John. What do you think? I think we're ready to go.
We can always give her a go.
Yep. All right. Remember, this video will be saved. You can come back to it on my page. Oh, here we go. More people. We have Tracy, Don Roth, Karen Poole, Mike Hockey, James Collins, Steve Eat, Mike Miller, Nelson Bruins, Mike Benjamin, Dave Poole, Michael Lafferty. Good evening, guys. All right, we have John Dean here, the creator of the Ontario Kayak Bass Trail. We're going into the 4th season. Is that correct, John?
That's correct. First of all, guys, Merry Christmas, everybody. Wish you all the best.
Raise your glasses. John's got his Old Faithful of Crown Royal, and I'm drinking my old number 7.
Yeah, Rich, you're correct. It's season number 4 we're going into. Season
number 4, and I didn't realize I've only missed one event so far.
Yeah, it's you've been doing pretty well.
Yeah, it's not bad. I didn't think I was gonna. I think the river, the Tonabee River is the only one I missed.
That's right, and you judge that for us.
I judged it. Okay, so I didn't miss any events.
Technically, no.
Yeah. Anyways, the summary. You want to talk the summary of this past season?
Sure. 2020. It was a great year, all things considering. I guess I really don't have to go into the details of all the struggles and obstacles we all faced this year, starting in about February, and it still is continuing now. But you know, we were able to pull it out. We had some challenges, but we were, you know, pretty fluid in our planning, and were able to adapt our processes and allowed us to proceed and hold the events. which I think was good and well received by everybody by showing the numbers that came out. I think it was maybe a well-needed break for everybody to get out on the water and actually have a little bit of camaraderie, even if it was at long distances. So yeah, no, we had a very successful year. We did 4 events last year, 4 brand new bodies of water for the series, which is, you know, one of our mandates that we try to do in the OKBT, and that is try not to repeat waters, especially year to year. We try to get new bodies of water for everybody to enjoy and to explore. We had 4 different winners last year on the 4 events, which was really good to see. We had a lot of new faces come out last year, which was awesome. We had a record number of anglers at a one-day event in Ontario on Sturgeon Lake with 80 anglers that came out to the first event of the year, which was, it actually shocked me when it was happening because I was wondering how that was going to be received this year and we were going to struggle, you know, being mid-pandemic and all. But yeah, no, it turned out to be fantastic. Our AOY race again came down to the last event of the year to decide a winner. Richard Offner, yours truly right there, he pulled it out, took it over me in second place by 10 points. It was a good year. Our sponsor base this year was fantastic. Again, they supported us through and through, even in the hard times. A lot of, as you know, stores and retail businesses were struggling. I think that our membership in that did a good job of supporting our sponsors, and it showed because they stayed with us and appreciated everything we did. So, you know, we had the 4 online events, which also went off well with great responses and some really close battles right down into the last hours of the events. And, you know, most of all is, you know, you got to thank the anglers that came out and did it because they're the ones who make the events in the end. We can put them together and we can plan them, but it's the anglers that come out and make them what they are. So, you know, thank you guys because it truly was an awesome year.
Do you think that COVID had something to do with especially that first event? You know, 80 guys.
I don't know if it. I don't know one way or the other. Our numbers were up all year. We had a 45% increase in the average anglers per event this year. You know, we averaged 64 anglers per event. So right across the board, we've been growing each year. So it may have something to do with it. It may be because more people are finding out about the OKBT and getting into it and starting to experience it. So.
Yeah, especially at last event. Traditionally, in most series that I've seen, not just the OKBT, that last event is you know, Angler of the Year races are usually down to 3 or 4 people, and it seems to lower the numbers. But Lake Kashawigamog was how many do we have? 60 guys? 50?
Yeah, I think a little over 60.
A little over 60. That,
Yeah.
that was great. I mean, I know in the previous 2 years it was pretty low numbers.
Yeah.
Considerably, but it's over 60. That wasn't even the worst one. I think Rondo Bay was probably the lowest attendance.
It was, yeah. It was 54 at Rondo.
Yeah, would you say that and Sturgeon were probably the most fish caught?
I'd have to look at the numbers, but Rondo Bay was amazing. I think out of the 54 anglers, I think we had, if I remember correctly, I was just talking to somebody about this a couple weeks ago. I think we had 28 or 29 full stringers, and everybody in the event recorded fish.
Yeah, that was
so it was pretty good.
Rondo Bay has always been tough for me, and I'm not gonna lie, I pre-fished it 3 Saturdays in a row, including during the week before the event, and I didn't have anything worthwhile. And it wasn't until the Thursday night or the Thursday afternoon before the event I found a nice little area and didn't even go out on Friday. and it worked out for me. But I mean, I had to work for it. Rondo Bay has always been tough for me, and I caught all largemouth, which is very rare for me. I think it's probably the only largemouth I caught all season, and I'm looking forward to going back to just a fun fish.
Rondo was a wild card for me and for us. Never being there, most of the lakes we fish is new water, even to us, myself included. Hadn't been to Rondo, didn't know what to expect. I kept hearing the stories about the thick mats and tough time getting around. I got there and was pleasantly surprised. Apparently the weed growth was down a bit this year, but I thought it was a fantastic fishery. There was water there for everybody to fish, no matter what type of fishing you wanted to do. And, you know, 3 hours and 20 minutes, 3 hours and a half from my door, and I would not even think twice about driving down there to fish it on a Saturday and coming home.
Well, I'm looking forward to it again.
Yeah. I will definitely be going back just for a fun day, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Any other surprises of 2020?
Other surprises in 2020? No, not really. Well, other than the fact that things went off without a hitch pretty much.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, we switched up a few rules, made things a little bit easier for people to get on and off the water. Unfortunately, we weren't permitted to do our after events in restaurants, which was also a saving grace, because there's absolutely no way we would have been able to go back to the pubs afterwards with 60, 65, 70 people.
No.
So it was almost sort of a blessing in disguise that they were closed down. And, you know, we did, you know, the first couple events, we had a couple of small gatherings afterwards, socially distanced, to do the awards via Facebook Live, which worked out well. Rondo Bay, we were able to at least get together in a larger parking lot and have a fair crowd there, which was good. And at Halliburton, we had a good show out afterwards. I think the biggest surprise was, with all the stress and the worrying about the planning and trying to get things to go off smooth, was how smooth in the end it did go off. And that was, you know, a pleasant surprise for sure.
Well, that's a credit to you, John. I mean, you organized it, the lakes, you adjusted to the conditions, the rules, the laws, and everything ran very smooth.
Thank you.
And it's a credit to yourself. So what do we got coming up?
2021. Looks it's starting off the same as last year, I guess. Maybe, I don't know. I hope it changes, but it's going to be a good year. It's going to be our best year yet, I think. 2021 is seeing an expansion to the OKBT. By that I mean we're adding a 5th event. This new event is going to lead the year off. It's going to be in Sudbury, Ontario, and it's going to be on May 29th. And we put that out there and had instant responses to it. People just jazzed about it, trying to figure out if it was a bass event, a pike event, what was going on. But I'll tell you, it's a bass event. And yes, it's a month before we typically open here in Southern Ontario. It's May 29th. It's in Sudbury. It's above the Highway 17 line. So it's an all-year season on bass up there. You know, we've been trying to put one together early season for a couple of years. We've sort of had thoughts and tossed it around. And this year, everything just kind of came together. We had a little bit of insider information on the venue we're going to, with some help from one of our sponsors and a representative, and we were able to look at it objectively and found a good weekend, and we're going to do it. So bass season starts early for us Southerners this year. The northern guys, they're going to get an OKBT event. We've been trying to get up there to you know, show them what it's all about, and hopefully they'll see it and enjoy it, and maybe come down south for a few more events.
That's the event I was the most looking forward to. Again, I've always wanted to fish that area in Ontario that is open season, like year round.
Mm-hmm.
And right in the middle of Sudbury is the lake. Is that right?
It is. It's up until recently was the largest lake completely in the city limits.
Yes.
But yeah, it's right in the middle of Sudbury. There's lots of facilities around it, as far as camping locations, motels, hotels, food, sports stores. There's Ramaco's Outdoors up there, which is a fantastic store to visit. Yeah, I think it's going to be a great event. I've looked at previous history on the lake from the Northern Series that fish it, Nickel City Bass, and a few other areas, series up there that fish the lake, and they look at their early season numbers on there, and they're putting You know, they're putting in anywhere between 20 to 28 pounds winning bags at times in May, early June. It's a smallmouth
Nice.
lake, and it's going to be, depending on how the winter goes and how the thaw is, it could be anywhere from pre-spawn to post-spawn. So it's going to challenge us guys that aren't used to fishing that type of fishery, and I think it'll be a great event. So I'm really
So
looking
that
forward to
will,
the challenge.
so that will fish very similar to what we're used to here on Lake St. Clair on the Michigan side. And what I will say from that is, one day the fish will be on fire, the next day you won't find them.
Yeah,
And that's the kind of what you get in that pre-spawn,
yeah,
post-spawn, spawn.
yeah,
So it'll be a crapshoot. So
for
the
sure.
guys going pre-fishing, they're gonna hit it really good.
Yeah,
It could turn right off the next day.
yeah. So we do there on May 29th. Then about 4 weeks later, on June 26th, um, we visit the Tri-Lakes in the heart of the Kawarthas. The Tri-Lakes is made up of Upper Buckhorn, Chemung, and Pigeon Lakes. This is a staple event on the majority of bass boat series within Ontario. This is a fishery that you can fish deep rocky water right up to 1 foot deep slop and swamp. Going to be smallmouth and largemouth galore. Hopefully, at this time of year, they'll be coming. They'll be finished their spawn, and they'll still be sitting around and waiting to feed up. So this is another event that I'm looking forward to fishing this year. Is on Tri-Lakes. There's a lot of water, a lot of access points. There's going to be a lot of space for guys to fish.
Another one to look forward to.
Yeah, so we leave there. A month later, we then head up to the southern edge of Muskoka, just north of Aurelia. We're going into Sparrow Lake, and we will fish Sparrow Lake all the way from the lock, which is in between Couchiching and Sparrow, and we'll fish it all the way down to Big Chute, which is the next lock in the Severn Waterway. It's a lot of water. There's a lot of lake. There's a lot of river there. So there's going to be a lot of varied water conditions, from river with current to backwater bays to oxbows to lake to rock, you name it. It's going to be a mixed bag again there, largemouth and smallmouth. Another good lake, another one that's visited quite a bit by local bass clubs. From there, August 21st season goes up into the North Kawarthas, and we're visiting chain of lakes, the Mississauga and Catchacoma chain. It's actually 6 lakes in this chain when you include Beaver, Gold, Cavendish, and Cold Lakes. Again, a lot of waters, limited on ramps on this one, but there's a ton of water to fish. A lot of smallmouth, a lot of largemouth, a lot of rocks, a lot of stumps, a lot of deep water. This is going to be an interesting event for sure. And then on September 18th, we travel up into the heart of Muskoka and bordering on the Algonquin Highlands, and we visit the famous Lake of Bays. Huge water body, lots of bays given by its name, a lot of deep water, a lot of rocks, and a lot of big smallmouth. And by big smallmouth, I mean, don't be surprised if someone's pulling in, 21 and 22 inches. It's a fantastic late, especially getting that late in September coming into it. So hopefully we're going to hit the feed right. It's always a tricky time of year in September. It can either be on fire like in the spring, or it can be a slugfest, depending on weather and whatnot. But this should be a great event. This was a lake that was requested a few times
By
by
Rick
a couple
Beauchamp?
of people. No, it was actually sent in on a couple of our surveys over the last couple of years,
Oh,
and did some research into it and decided let's pull the trigger and let's go. So really looking forward to that event as well.
can we tell
Online
Rick to
events we're
stay
going to run
home?
again this year. Yeah, online events are going to be good again this year. We're going to bring back the Swamp Donkey. That seems to be a perennial favorite for sure. We might make a couple changes to the other events to mix things up to keep them interesting. We're not sure yet, but you can be for sure there will still be those 4 online events will be online for July, August, September, and October. And that's
All right.
it. Like I said, 2021 is shaping up to be a great year. We're hoping, that the majority of the participants from the last years will again return and participate this year, as well as been fielding a lot of questions from new people since the season ended, and I think we're going to have some new faces again, which is awesome. So,
a couple quick questions have come up,
sure.
John. First of all, I'd just like to welcome a few newcomers. I don't even recognize their names. Where do they go now? Landers Glenn, Dave Wade, his first year. Looking forward to his first year. Hello, Sean. Sean's sneaking over from the U.S., I guess. Sean Boggs. Hey, Rick Beauchamp brought a good point. He doesn't think he hasn't heard of one angler that's caught COVID. Any of the OKBT anglers, which is great to hear.
That's good.
Bill Weaver, yes, you can bring anything you like to drink. I prefer whiskey, beer, water, milk, whatever you like, Bill.
Double tea with milk.
Yes. There was another question I had the same question.
Yeah, if you guys got any questions now on the OKBT, by all means, post them up and we'll get to them.
Ramsey Lake, somebody asked he can only find one launch.
There's another reason why we did Lake of Bays, and that's because Brian Vaughn's cottage is not far from there, and he requested ones where he could stay at his cottage. So, Brian, that one's for you.
All right. The question about Ramsey Lake.
Mm-hmm.
I only found one launch, and unfortunately on Google Earth, they took the picture during the winter, which kind of makes it limited what you can see. So it's do you know for a fact that there's launches to find?
I have there's 4 launches that I know about, and those ones will be posted on the launch map once the events page and everything's done. And because of the proximity to the city center and there's a lot of residences on the lake, I doubt you'll find roadside launches. So it'll probably be using one of the 4 launches posted. That's not saying that there isn't other ones. That's for guys to find. I'm just saying the ones I found, I will post because I know it's going to be a tight launching there with all the residences. So,
yes. I also noticed that Ramsey Lake, though it looks big because of the way it is on the map, you can cover pretty much most of the lake in a day. At least in 2 days, you could cover most of the lake. It's not that big, and even with some severe weather, we'd be protected in a lot of areas too. Is that correct, John?
I'm sorry, what was that, Rich?
Well, if we get any severe wind, it seems to be there's a lot of areas you can hide from the wind.
I think there's a lot of cuts and inlets, and that area of the province, I know there's a lot of rocks, so there's probably some walls there which will protect you as well. And that with being residences on the shore, it's going to break the wind as well. So.
Yeah. So Mike Benjamin, he asked about the black flies. There's something called the Canadian bug shirt.
Yeah.
You might need one.
Black flies, the official bird of Northern Ontario. Live with it.
What I do know about black flies, because I did a vacation, my wife and I, we went to the French River on an island, Great Bear Resort, I think it was something like that, June 1st. And we were warned about the black flies. If we have a warm May, or if Sudbury has a warm May, it kills the black flies. We did not see one black fly, and I bought all the gear for it and never had to use it. So keep that in mind. If we get some good 70-degree weather, we won't have to worry about black flies.
Yeah, and just spray your fishing partner with some cologne. They'll go to him.
Tracy Rich, Mike Benjamin, Scott Murphy, Nate Conley, Doug Campbell, Greg Schooley. What are you doing out here, Greg?
Jay Brown has a question there, Rich.
Okay, I'm getting down there. Where's Jay? Okay, did you come up with a decision on the use of trolling motors for the season? I think Jeff Van Morsel has the same question.
And I think Oliver does too. We're still talking it over. We're still looking at pros. We're still looking at cons. We will have an answer early in the new year.
Okay. One question to that, Jeff, before you finish. Would you consider, if you don't allow motors, would you allow it for the online? Maybe consider allowing it for the online events.
That's one thing that we're looking at. So.
Okay.
I can't give you a yes or a no, and
No,
So
no, I just was putting that out there.
yeah, it's been a stressful off
That's the
season,
only-
and we're just kind of taking a breather for a couple of weeks. So, Alex, you asked for a Hobie dealer in the Windsor area. The closest Hobie dealer to you is Fogue Marine in Toronto. Thanks, Rick, for the answer. Yeah, so yeah, I don't know if anyone's got any more questions. Please pop them up, and we'll answer them here on the. It's your stage now. Really looking forward to 2021. What's the structure of the online events? Well, the online events, Nate, typically are 1 month in duration. They usually start around 6 a.m. on the first of the month, and they end at 6 p.m. on the last day of the month, depending on what the month is. It's your 5 best bass for the month. You can keep putting them in. They keep auto culling out. You don't have to worry about managing your live well, except for the full house challenge where you have.
John, can you hear me?
I got you. We're back, guys. You guys good? Give us a thumbs up if you can hear us.
All right, let's see.
Okay, I've started to answer Nate's question about the structure of the online events. I don't know if he heard me, but Nate, they typically go for the duration of the month. They're run on Tourney X like normal, 5 biggest bass throughout the month. You can fish anytime you want between the start time and the finish time on the first and the last day of the month. Typically starts at 6 a.m. on the first day and ends at 6 p.m. on the last day. So you can fish at any time during those days. Keep putting in your fish. The 5 best fish will be called out for you, and that's it. It's a pretty easy way of getting into tournament fishing, and gives you something to do on your days off. A lot of guys can't fish on weekends. They can only fish midweek, so that's when they can get out, and they do it. And we typically have good turnouts for that with good payouts as well. So I thought I saw another one on here too from Clayton. Asked if we thought of doing 1-day online tournaments. It's one thing we have talked about, Clayton, not doing 1 days, but long weekend events. We did them last year in another series, and they worked out really well. They would either be like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and they were a lot of fun as well with the shorter events happening for sure. So.
Scott Murphy had a joke, but I don't know if he put the answer down here while we were off. What did the kayak fisherman say to his partner?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yak off. Nelson, we are not going over any rule changes this evening. We have some that will come into effect next year. We've been going over them and fine-tuning them. There will be announcements made in the new year. Same with the motors. So.
All right. Do I see any other new ones? Dave Poole says we should try and camp in the same campsites. For those of you that like camping, it is great. I mean, it's kind of like being on vacation on top of the fishing. I started camping 2 years ago in the tent. This year I've gone to a trailer, pop-up. Now I'm in a trailer. But yes, it would be nice to coordinate campgrounds. I've already been searching for many events. It is a little tricky finding campsites that will allow you in with a trailer and are not. Some of them have gone seasonal for complete. Anyways, we will communicate where we're going to be camping. I won't camp for Sudbury, that's for sure. Stay away from it. I can fish into blackflies. I'm not going to camp with them.
Chris Visser is asking if there's changes to the measurement devices. Chris, if you would have read the rules last year like you were instructed to, you would have seen that all catch boards were allowed. Thanks very much for asking, though. We appreciate that. Just joking, buddy. Yeah, the catch boards are the carbonite catch boards and the aluminum catch boards are all available for use.
Nate Conley, John, he's got a question for you.
Which question?
Any limit on the amount of days pre-fishing? This is the big topic right now in the Hobie Bass series that came up in their discussions.
No, there's no limit to the amount of days. All I can say is when the new rules are put out in the new year, there will be a show outlining the rules. Pay attention to them. There will be some changes in that respect. There's no limit to the days. The timing and allowable days will still remain the same, but there may be some changes to the format of that. One reason for that is, Nate, is as far as I'm concerned, it's an unpoliceable thing. I work for a living, as most guys do, and I can't be up there making sure guys are or are not on a lake at a certain given time. So if you can't police it, why try to enforce something? So
Live scope. Is it allowed, John?
why wouldn't it be?
I don't see why it's anything. It's a type of sonar. Humminbird and Lowrance will have something out for 2021. They both have leaked out, or not leaked. Lowrance has announced it, and Humminbird has leaked it out. They're both coming out in March.
Yeah, if it's there's no reason why it wouldn't be allowed. Other than being maybe financially unreachable for most people. If you can have it and you can use it, go for it. That's all I can say. It's the same as when they brought in side imaging. Should it be allowed? Shouldn't it be allowed? Well, it's the way of the game. It's technology. It's the way things are progressing. So,
yep, exactly.
Yeah. Any other questions, guys, on OKBT?
I got to bring up my agenda again, and I lost. Okay. If that's it, questions. We'll go into the
get a refill.
Refill. Yeah, I just did that. John Bean also coordinated the Ontario Kayak Bassmasters. It's part of the. Well, I'll let you sum it up. What the mechanics of the club.
Yeah. Okay. I got to put on my other hat now. So the Ontario Kayak Bassmasters. That's an affiliated club with the Ontario Kayak, or with the Ontario Bass Nation, which is a nation under the Bass Nation itself through Bassmasters, BASS, Bass Angler Sportsman Society. Last year, BASS threw their hat in the ring of the kayak game and announced a 5-event national series, which would qualify anglers to fish in the Bass Nation Kayak National Championships, which will take place the following year during their Bassmasters Classic. Along with this, to fill up qualification fields, they had state championships, which allotted a certain amount of qualifying spots for each state that held a championship to send anglers down there as well. When this came out, we saw an opportunity to allow the anglers in Ontario that wanted to fish a series affiliated with BASS and allow them a chance to get into qualifying for a larger international event down in the US, that this would be the way to go and the only way we have to go. So we started the Ontario Kayak Bassmasters. We affiliated with the Ontario Bass Nation. We got our affiliation letters and started taking memberships. That was in November of 2019. Came about very well. The concept of having a club within Ontario for kayak angling was very new, especially a club where there was dues required to fulfill the requirements set forth by Bass and the Bass Nation. Last year, we ended up with 48 anglers registering for the club, which was awesome. And from there, we ended up holding 3 long weekend events, Clayton, 3 long weekend events, and we held a 2-day Ontario Bass Nation Kayak Bassmaster Championship, which was held in September. For that event, we had 35 anglers participate. We qualified 5 anglers to go down to the national event, which is going to be held on March 17th and 18th this year in Dallas, Texas, during the Bassmaster Classic Week. Mike Moran took away the win in that event, as well as Richard Offner, Rick Beauchamp, Antoine de Roche-Gagnon, and Shane Fernandez filled out the top 5, and all 5 earned a qualifying spot to go down to Texas this March. Unfortunately, with the climate we're in, and borders being closed, and the health pandemic that we're facing, it doesn't look like these gentlemen are going to be able to make the trip down this year. It's still not 100% certain that that's going to happen, but we're working with Bass and trying to figure out remedies that we can make come through. Regardless if they make it down or not, they fished a hell of an event. We had a great event, and it was tough fishing, and these guys threw it. They're all unqualified, and I know that if they don't get to go down this year for reasons out of everyone's control, that they will be back on the water this year trying to qualify again, because that's the type of anglers and sportsmen that they are, for sure. So for 2021, we're looking to go for our second season with Bassmasters. We've decided this year that we're going to hold another 3 online long weekend events like we did last year to break up the summer a bit. But we've also added 2 live events and the 2-day championship into the schedule this year. The 2 live events are going to be held on Sundays. The first one will be Sunday, June 27th, and that's going to be on the Otonabee River, bordered by Peterborough and Rice Lake. And the next one will be on Sunday, July 27th, and that's going to be on Lake St. John in Rama, Ontario. Reasoning behind the Sunday events, people are probably wondering. With our Ontario season being short and with limited weekends available for everybody, we decided at the Bassmasters to leverage the timing and location of the OKBT events that were happening on the preceding Saturdays and hold bass events in close proximity to these events. It made sense because a lot of the anglers that fish in the bass events also fish in the OKBT events. So they're already away for a weekend. They're already in the area. They're already camping. They're already ready to go. So now it's a 2-day event for them on a Saturday for one series and a Sunday for the other series. So, we come off of the Tri-Lakes with that OKBT series and then fish Otonabee River the next day. They come off of Sparrow Lake with OKBT, and they fish Lake St. John, which is 20 minutes down the road, on the Sunday after that. Then we go into the 2-day championship, which is going to be on August 7th and 8th, and that's going to be on Lake Simcoe, but it's going to be specifically located with northern boundaries to be decided yet, but it's basically going to be Cooks Bay and including the Holland River. Details for this still are being ironed out as far as the northern boundaries and whatnot and everything that goes along with it, but they'll be coming out soon. As far as qualifications go for the 2022 national championships, they haven't been released by Bass yet. As soon as they are, we'll post them up for everybody to know. So, we're also looking at a couple other things to do this year with the 3 events and including the championship. If we're able to swing something into a possible AOY standings and incorporate the long weekend online events in there too, just to spice it up a bit. But, we're working it hard and trying to get this planned out for you guys so we can have some information for you come early of the year.
Very good, John. I really like how you've doubled up on the Saturday, Sunday. It makes it easier for
well, we know a lot of guys. A lot of guys are coming from out of town. A lot of people have young families, and just getting away for a whole weekend, back-to-back weekends or multiple weekends is tough. So if you're already away for one weekend, basically you're burning another few hours the next day, and it just made sense for everybody involved. So
just going to make that pre-fishing a little tougher now.
Well, that's something you're going to have to flip a coin on.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
Again, all the stuff for the Bassmasters will also be run through Tourney X again as years in past. With other series, it's a very stable platform, and that's where everything will be run through. So,
very good. You've already touched on the online events?
Yeah, one thing I'd like to mention though is because is registration for Ontario Kayak Bassmasters. If you guys are interested, if you're already a member from last year. You don't have to fill out the forms this year. You just got to email in the membership dues again for next season. We already have all your Bass member information, address, and all that on file, so you're good to go there. If you're a new member, you can get in contact with me through the Ontario Kayak Bassmasters page. There's you have to become a general member at BASS first, get your membership number, and then you can fill out the registration form and pass it along to us, and we'll get you onto the roster for the Bassmasters and to be able to participate in any of the events that take place this year. So,
for those that have been a previous member to the Bassmaster general membership, I think they do it where they renew your membership automatically if you gave them a credit card.
correct.
And most of them happen in November. So you may have been. I received my membership card this week in the mail. Didn't even realize that it came out of my credit card. I went back and checked, and then sure enough, it was there. So you should have received your membership card. If you didn't, you should start looking into registering for next year.
Tracy Rich has a question here. How many events do you have to fish to make team to go to the U.S.? Tracy, you don't have to fish any number of events. You have to join the Bassmasters, be a member of the OBN, and from there you have to fish the 2-day championship, August 7th and 8th, and depending on what the qualification criteria is set forth by Bass. Last year it was 5 anglers or 10% of the field, whatever, with 5 being the minimum. So we were sending 5 regardless. That's what it was last year. So if you finished in the top 5, you qualified to go to the US. And I imagine it'll be something like that this year. I haven't heard if or what they are changing, if anything. But as soon as we do, we'll post it out as soon as it's posted up on the Bass site.
Michael Lafferton has a question there about meetings, John.
I'm sorry?
Michael Lafferton is asking about when are the meetings for Ontario Kayak Bassmasters? You were hosting meetings on Zoom.
Yep. Because we have members province-wide and because we were in lockdown most of the year last year, Michael, we've had all our meetings on via Zoom. That will continue again into the new year. That's really the only way that we can, involve all of our membership anyway, because we have people reaching all the way from, Ottawa and Quebec all the way down to the Windsor. So that's the only way we can get everybody involved in it. Next meeting will be sometime in January, and we will be setting it up from there. And as usual, anybody on the members list will get an email with all the information regarding the meeting. So, Peter, do you have to qualify for the championship?
No.
Do you mean the Ontario Championship or the National Championship? If you mean the Ontario 2-day championship, no. It's an open to the members.
And let's see. Chris Visser is just confirming the motors.
Yes, it's a BASS event, which goes by BASS rules, which allows motors.
Yeah. Yes, we got stickers with our membership card, Rick. Very good. Still waiting for a card from Lanners. Nelson Bruins, nice hat, John. John, what's your hat say? I can't. Is that MigSig?
MigSig Outdoors.
Yeah, your video actually got a little pixelated, but it's been holding on.
That's MigSig Outdoors, and
you know where to get them.
And look for them online.
Yeah. Registering. How do you register? Same thing.
Registering for the events for Bass will be all done through TourneyX. Once the event pages are posted, notice will be sent out that the events are live, and you can go on to TourneyX and register.
All right. I don't see any more questions coming in. I have a few other announcements before we let John go. So I see we had over 50 people on here. Very good. That's one of my better broadcasts.
No, Peter, you don't have to qualify for the Ontario Championship.
All right. Yes, Nelson. MigSig stuff looks pretty good. I agree. All right. Well, John, you have anything else to add? I think we've covered all the questions. Sorry. Oh, hold on. Brian, bourbon is a form of whiskey, so yes, your bourbon is good. Matter of fact, I got more bottles of bourbon in my closet than I do or whiskey. All right. Anyways, John, I thank you very much. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, just guys, finish out the year strong. Stay safe. Keep everything together in the new year. We don't want anybody going, the wrong way with their health, and hopefully everybody can show up starting in May and we can have another great season, with the OKBT, and hopefully we can translate that over into the Bassmaster series as well. If you have any questions on either series, please feel free to message me. As most guys know, I'm pretty responsive, and if you don't hear back from me, usually fairly quickly, it's probably because I'm sleeping or I'm actually at work. One or the other. So, cheers, guys. Happy New Year's to y'all, and we'll see you in May.
All right, John. Before I let you go, yes, I have some information about kayaks from Folk Marine, so the rest of you can stay on a bit. But John, thank you very much, and hopefully we'll talk soon.
Okay. Thanks, Rich.
Take care.
Bye now.
All right. When we got froze up there and we got lost, I started talking about the Folk Marine's kayaks, and let me call it up again here. All right. So Folk Marine is in Oakville, Ontario. It's one of the first places I bought a kayak. I bought my first kayak from Swift Canoe in 2007. Bought my second one also in 2007 from Folk Marine. The service was no comparison, and I would continue to deal with Folk Marine. They are the biggest dealer in Canada. They have been serving sailors and paddlers for 35 years. They have a very good staff that will answer any of your questions, set up your sailboat, kayak, or sup board. They also have a good line of clothing to go along with that. They have a full-time rigging specialist to repair any of your equipment that you've purchased there. Store hours are 10 to 5, closed on Sundays. With the COVID-19 lockdown in effect, there's no store walk-ins. Phone, website orders will be filled and available for parking lot pickup. Be patient when calling the store as they're busy at times, and leave a message or call back. Kayak orders can be picked up by appointment. All kayaks purchased are pre-delivery inspected, and Folk will spend an hour going over the features and operation of your new kayak to help you feel comfortable with it. That is a service that not all dealers do. It is very important because there are intricate things with each kayak that you purchase that you should know. There's a good selection of 2021 Old Town kayaks in stock, and on order, limited stock of new Hobies are left. There's a first order of Hobie kayaks will arrive in February, with 2 more shipments arriving later. If you're thinking about a Hobie, don't wait. Supply may be tight. Call the store, check availability. A deposit will hold your kayak with the balance due on pickup. This is not just at Folk. This is all over North America. So if you think you have a line on a kayak somewhere, put a deposit on it. Check with Folk. I'm pretty sure they will be getting the largest inventory of Hobie kayaks in Canada as being the largest dealer. Online shopping is also available on their website for all Hobie and Old Town kayaks, including a huge inventory of spare parts for both your Hobie and Old Town. Complete line of clothing from Kelly Canson, Gill, Jick, Salus, Musto, Mustang, and Gull. Kayak accessories from Scotty, Hobie, Old Town, Railblazer, Malone, just name a few. Complete line of marine cord and rope along with rigging experts on staff. Anyways, again, check out Folk Marine, super service, family-run business, and it's in Ontario we consider that local. Just about finished here. I'd like to mention that on Friday night we'll be talking ice fishing with Ian Jones. He also will talk about his guide service on Lake St. Clair from muskie and bass. On Monday night, we'll be talking to Mike and Kyle from the from the Michigan Kayak Trail, and also from the Topwater series. They started up last year with the Topwater. It was a success, and they've got some events on eastern Michigan that will be pretty accessible for us living in the Windsor, Essex County, Chatham, Lambton counties. So I would pay. And again, that's pending at the border opens. One more thing I'd like to mention is that I did post an event, a non-tournament event for the Canada Day weekend. It will be for fishing on Lake St. Clair. I'm offering free camping. at the a location in Lakeshore. We'll have live entertainment on Saturday night. All welcome, whether you're camping or staying in a hotel or just living nearby. I'll have more information on that going forward. Anyways, if nobody has any other questions, I'm just going to run through here. Yes, Ian will have great info. I'm going to attempt ice fishing this year. Said I wouldn't do it, but I guess can never say never. Anyways, thank you all for listening, and we'll see you Friday night if you're looking for ice fishing. Otherwise, we'll talk to you Monday night, next Monday night. If you have any guests you'd like to see on, please, or you have any connection to some guests that you'd like to see on the show, forward them to me, and I'll see what I can do. Anyways, thank you and good night.